2008 you made your debut. I remember it against Dublin, and then came on against Tipperary. Yeah, first championship game against Tip.
First was Tip, then Dublin for a bit longer.
That wasn't today or yesterday, though. We all know there's a lot of talk about how the game is after changing, Patrick, and through your eyes, how has the game changed?
When I came onto the panel first, as in probably 18-year-old, there was another 2 or 3 18-year-olds, Pawnee Sol, I'd say Stephen White at the time. You could kind of get along by being a good hurler, and it was physical, but it wasn't like too crazy. There was a few big fellas now in our panel, you know, where like Niall Mack and the boys, they were massive, but there was a lot of skill, and then it kind of moved to being really strong, and Kilkenny were they were animals at the time. Then it went back, I suppose, to speed again around 2013, and since then it seems like every year the game is changing, and even for players, like the conversations are different with individual players now, that you kind of know how the game is going to be played, and you know the situations you're going to be in the game. So you want to put yourself in those situations. There's not many of them per position, so you want to put yourself in that position in training as much as you can to get the most out of when they actually happen in the game. So like, if you're, say, inside, there's no point in you getting a ball, say, out in the middle of the field in a touch drill or anything like that, because it's almost like fellas have tuned out from that now, and all they're focused on is, where am I going to be? When am I going to get the ball? And where's my man going to be?
And when you say your men, defenders, how have they changed?
I suppose it's every year as well. Like, they mark sides, depends on if they play sweepers, and is there 2 inside or 3, and there's so many different things happening. Like, at the moment, you'd hardly see it, but when you're in there, you kind of feel it. With half back line sitting back, and say for a crossfield ball, the opposite half back sitting back, and it's very hard to create space or run away from, you know, really fast players when you don't have that much space to. So then you have to evolve that again and make different runs and work things out and train differently, and I think that's the way hurling's kind of going more and more. But at the end of it all, then I feel like the skills are the most important part. After all that, it's like, if you can do all that, you can't, like, say, strike ball to hand, or if you can't receive the ball first time, all your practice, like, is out the window. You know, there are things that are given, like, they have to be given.
In terms of getting better from a skills point of view, how do you do that?
I suppose if I was doing drills, I suppose I'd be just focusing as much as I can on taking the ball either side, and like if there was a defender left or right, so it's a different touch. You open your hurley one side, and you like might have to take it on the heel on the other side, and all this with a player on each of your arms. So it just depends on what way it comes, and there's so much in it. Like, you could be on about it for the day, but it doesn't happen often. So that's why I'm saying there's 5 or 6 things that'll keep happening, and go after what you hope to be good at.
Has your hurley changed much during that period?
I think not, but actually I was only saying to the lads the other day that I seen a couple of my hurleys from, say, 5, even 10 years ago. I don't know how I played them. It's weird, like, it's weird, like, how it goes, that your like, once you get used to a hurley, and it's like becomes like nearly an extension of your arm, you can't see no wrong in it, and then you put it aside and you pick up a new one for the following year, and you go back to your number one from the previous year, and you're like, how did I ever play with that? Because you're obviously after getting used to the other one, and there's no breaking that in.
I often gripped your hurleys.
You did? How did I let that happen? You know what that was now? For ages, my old man did it, and I couldn't do it, and I wasted, I'd say, 100 grips trying to do it myself, and eventually I was able. But in between then, you were called into action.
It's beautiful balance now and that. I was wondering about that little sway at the bottom of it, you know?
Yeah, Cormac Murphy now will be listening to this, and I'll be getting a couple of messages afterwards, but I just find that automatically the hurley just kind of goes that way for a right-hander, and for a left-hander it'll go the other way. It's funny, we were only talking about it the other day. He gave me a bit of abuse about it, but I just find it's probably a bit easier to hit the ball the way I hit it with the hurley like that. So
I would like them dead straight myself.
Well, you did. I know that. I know. There was a time I kind of did too, but like after a while, then like a couple came like this, and like I was putting. I remember times I was putting my day like into a hurley, like, and not just one day. This could be days. Like the handle, regrip, sand it, regrip, tape. Like it could be going on for weeks. Bands, where are they? Are they up higher on the boss? Are they lower? Where's the weight? And like, I tried to get away from that as much as I can and just try get a hurley that I'm somewhat comfortable with and get used to it that way.
Has Patrick Horgan changed during that time?
I would say definitely. Just touching on what we did a while ago, like when I came onto the panel first, you probably know I'd have been at training at 5, and I was early now at the time. It's not so early now if you come a 5 year late now. But I remember me and Paul used to be on the field, but we were obsessed with just the skill and the touch and we weren't really, I wouldn't say too interested in anything else. I'd say we just didn't know any better. Like we wanted to be good players, and we weren't thinking about the game as much as we probably could have, or I certainly wasn't anyway. But as it goes on, and you need to kind of find something all the time. Like I'd done an exercise with Decky Sull, I'd say in 2016, I'd say, and that kind of opened my eyes again, where different movements help out a lot, and that was a bit of a change for me. And then from then, like the game has gone, you're always trying to like just get a small bit out of your game, as you know, more and more every year, every week, like. And if you're not doing that, I think, like, if you're not going forwards, you're going backwards, and that's true. So like every year, if you're not hungry to do the like tiniest of things, you will fall away very quick.
You've been a great example of that, Patrick. Where does that come from, that spirit of wanting to improve all of the time?
I do love like playing hurling. I love having my hurley in my hand in the off season, go to the alley 3 hours a day, but like not see it as even training, just going because like that's where I want to hang out. And then when it comes to matches, like it's like playing in stadiums like this. It's the most exciting thing you can do, is like be out in the field, crowd are all there, you're after putting in the work. You didn't skip anything, you put it all out there, you put your neck on the line basically, and you get a feeling out there that is just will never be matched like.
All-Ireland final, Patrick. How do you feel going into it?
I haven't thought about it yet, but because it's so it's like every day is a different day to like progress or train or recover or to eat or sleep or whatever. So when it does come, do you know the way every team is the same now? They're going to say, we just know the game, carry on, process that. But like it'll be exciting, especially for our group, like that we've worked so hard for it. We've trained unbelievably hard. We've done everything we possibly could right. We had a few slip-ups early in the year against Waterford and Clare. But I think since then, we've just kind of turned a bit of a corner. Got a great result against Limerick here, and then the support just went through the roof, like something I've never seen before. It's just snowballing, and it's just exciting, and I don't know, there's a great buzz around the place, and it'll be the same for the final, and it will actually just be another game, because we've played in so many big games. They're nearly all like finals. We're playing for our lives here against Limerick, played for our lives against Tip. Offaly in Dublin, same, like on Knockout Hurling, like, and you know, Knockout Hurling is a bit different, like there's a bit less air there, and this will be just another one. That'll be just crazy, obviously, but something we'll enjoy anyway, between now and then. Putting
on the jersey is a huge responsibility. Taking the frees is an added responsibility. What goes through your head when you're stepping up to take a big free? It's like if you have enough of the reps done, if you're confident in the areas you've worked on, so like for free taking, for me, there'd be a couple of stages early in the free taking process that if I hit them, I could like
I don't have to hit it. I know where it's going. And like when you're at that kind of level of practice, as you would have been on goal, like you know when you're striking it, and you know when you can even shape the ball to someone. It doesn't have to be shape it any way you want. And when you do things enough, like that's not even a pressure. That's like exciting to get the chance to like, oh look, there's say 40,000 people in Páirc Uí Chaoimh here, and I'm gonna hit a 65, and like I'm happy to do it. Like I love to do it, you know.
It's a brilliant attitude. If it ever goes wrong or you miss one, would you ever tend to let it weigh in your mind?
Nah, because if it does, and this has happened like a lot of times, obviously no one's perfect, but if it goes wrong, I'll always go back to those early things that I need to check in the process of the free, and it always comes down to one of those we're off. Like
I remember you coming into the dressing room as a young man. Obviously now you're one of the most experienced players, if not the most experienced. Do you feel a responsibility to the younger players?
Not really. Like to be fair, we've a bunch that like nobody needs to be told like do this, do that. You need to do this. They're so driven. Like everyone in the dressing room just wants to be better every day. And you've backs talking to backs, and you've backs talking to forwards. What do you like? What don't you like? And then like if one of the forwards are doing something that people are like, oh, that looks good, or he's creating a bit of space there, we'll have the conversation, like, or that's the kind of group that it is. And if I was doing something that one of the boys wanted, delighted, we'd be out on the pitch half the night talking about it and working it out and getting a few of the backs and doing the move on them and seeing like, what is it working, isn't it? And that's like, I like that environment. Like
there's a lot made about the points tally and stuff like that, and it's obviously a very proud thing in terms of your record there, and in the battle between yourself and TJ. Does it come into the head much?
No, can't. Like it's, what is it? Like people, like even this week, you know, we beat Limerick, and it's like, oh, you have a final next, and it's always, everybody seems to be kicking the can down the road, and like, oh, what's going to happen here? Honestly, going into the Limerick game, the only thing that I wanted anyway, and I nearly sense it from our group as well, all I want to do is be training Tuesday. Like it's, like we're not playing, like yeah, we're playing like we're going to play a final in 2 weeks, but I mean, being down training Tuesday is the best thing in a lot. It's another like night of, I suppose, memories that you have like with fellas that you love training with, you're togging out, like all these numbers and all the thing, like what is it like, you know what I mean? Even to win an All-Ireland and you've won plenty, it's one day. Like you have a lot of other things like that you refer to other than those 3 days that you had. Do you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
And you have so many other things, and I have so many other things that I look back to and like think that was class, and not just numbers and this and that.
Those memories, any of them really stand out to you?
Only recently, the Limerick game here. A lot of games we have here. Down through the years, we've had the Munster final in 2014 here, the last game here. Paddy came back after breaking his leg, got a goal, like couldn't make it up really. And then just in training, you know, hang around with the boys, finish here, go for something to eat, meet on the days we're not training. Can't beat it, like.
Coming from the Glen, famous club, storied club, great tradition, how has that influenced you?
A lot, I would say. Like, you know, there's a lot of fellas that I played with, like, down through the years in the Glen, that they all seem to have this thing of, like, there's a fight in them, like, you know, there's, like, forget about the hurling a while, and we'll get a bit angry first, or, I don't know, and you can even see that with the two boys here now that are playing in this team as well, Owen and Rob. Like, they can play whatever way you want to play, you know, they're skillful, they pan you out in a shot, there's no bother, and that's kind of like, that's a Glen kind of thing, like, you know. It's like, it's hard to put into words, but yeah, the Glen means a lot to me and the two Downies, and yeah, it's just, it's hard to word it.
You're idolised around Cork, young and old. I was coming through the city earlier on there today, and there was a couple of kids with hurleys in their hands and two jerseys with Hoggy written on the back of it. and rightly so, idolised Patrick. If there was a young kid with a hurley in their hand, thinking about becoming the next Patrick Horgan, what advice would you give to him?
I would say this a lot, that the number one thing is have an interest. If you have an interest, yeah, that'll do you for a couple of years, but I suppose it's the obsession then that comes after. If you can get that bug, you know what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of fellas would know what I'm talking about. If you get that, it's quite easy afterwards, because if you have an obsession to pick up the hurley every day, and like for it to become your life, you can do whatever you want with the game, like, and that's not like any quote or anything like that, but it's actually it's easy enough. When you have to be good at something, do you know, like any game, like, and hurlers seem to be like this all the time. Any game that they play, like if they play a game of, say, pool, they mightn't be that good, but they'd almost like buy a pool table and tell no one, or buy a tennis table and tell no one. You know what I mean? And it's having the interest first, and then having just the will to like train and pick up the hurley, and then enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, you'll never ever do anything. That's why I'm still playing. I love playing. I'm still obsessed with the game, and have been since I was 9.
Magic. Keep your spirit.
So, bye.
Right.
Thanks, bye.
Glad to.